Hello. In our Alma 301 class today, we're going to learn more about the Alma metadata editor. In this class, we'll learn about how to edit a fixed field, editing a record in general, and reloading the original version of a record. The Alma 301 class is the first in a series of classes about the Alma metadata editor. So I've logged in as Kathy Owen, who has the authorization to access the metadata editor. We'll just open it up. In the left-hand pane of the metadata editor, we can see that Alma supports the option for our being able to work with Mark 21 bibliographic records, Library of Congress subject and name authority records, Mark 21 holding records, and also with a completely different format, Dublin Core. I'm going to open up my Mark 21 bibliographic records. The records that I have here on the left-hand side with the little institution icon are records that I might have been working on and that are already saved in my Alma repository. A record here that we see with a little pencil and paper icon is an indication that this is a draft record in my cataloging metadata editor, and it has not yet been saved into the Alma repository. And finally, we can see a little community icon here, and this is an indication that this is a record that I copied from the Alma community zone. I'm going to click on the title A Hand Up and Not a Hand Out, and it's going to open on the right hand side of my screen in an editing format. I can edit any of the fields on the screen, I can add fields, but what I'd like to show you is the way that Alma offers us the option of editing a fixed form field. So I would like to edit the 008 field. If I'm very familiar with all the positions of the 008 field, I might choose to just edit it from the editing menu. I could edit parts of it if I wanted to just update the date information, for example. But when we're editing fixed form fields, it is very useful if we're able to open up the field in a form so that we can fill in the details in a structured manner. If I go to the Edit menu, we can see that we have the option of opening a form editor for fixed form fields. I would like to point out as we look at this menu that Alma tries wherever possible to offer alternate functions to mouse functions within the system. So we can see here on this pull-down menu that all the editing functions also have hotkeys or function keys defined. I'm going to click on the Open Form Editor, and now we can see the 008 field in a structured form, and it's very easy for me to move from one part of the field to another in order to fill in information. What is very interesting is that not only do we have a list of all the characters that are relevant for a certain part of the field, but we also have their translation or meaning. So if I need to put in something about the target audience, for example, and I need to say that this is for pre-adolescents or for adolescents or general, I can see exactly what character I need to fill in, and I can put this in a very simple manner. And we can see the same functionality for all the parts of the fixed form. I'm going to move to the back to the Edit menu, and I'm going to be working on my 505 field. I did intend to actually put in information about the contents, and I start typing, but then I noticed that somehow along the line I have not typed correctly. Basically, I have compromised my record. I have invested quite a lot of work in this, but it is no longer the record that I want and would like to retain. In a very simple manner, I can just go to the File menu and I can ask Alma to reload the original record. The input that I have already made will be lost, but at the same time I will have a clean record back that I can work on. So I'll just click Yes in order to reload that record. So this concludes the 301 lesson, which, as I mentioned, is the first in a series of classes on the Alma metadata editor.